I welcome everyone to another week here on the Focus TV. This is season 8, episode 33. We're joined by Octavia Wyatt, Ricardo Dudley Jr., Malik Miller is returned as well. Raymond Lyons, I'm Wilson Tarpe Jr. We're not going to waste any time. I'm going to get straight to it. It's been a busy week of sports. I got the chance to just preview some and take a leave of the rapid fire. Y'all need to find a way to chill. Obviously not. Terry Bradshaw apparently had time for so many people. I can't wait to get to that. He went full old man yell at clouds. And maybe he got a point. We'll see what happens. Ray, the Mystics, let you start, and I'll get a clip together.
Yeah, they got some good news to share about the Mystics, man. First off, the All-Star teams were announced, and Kiki Ariafin and Sonia Citron were named to the 2025 WNBA All-Star team. It's a huge accomplishment, especially with them both being rookies. And it's the first time rookie teammates have made the All-Star game since the inaugural WNBA All-Star game in 1999, back when Nikisha Sales, Taj McWilliams Franklin, and Shannon Johnson were selected to the team. Just some names for those who aren't familiar to do some research. 3 outstanding players, but yeah, definitely congrats to Kiki and Sonia. Well deserved. They came out the gates hot, and they pretty much kept up that production to this point of the season, which led to them being selected to play in the game next week. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that. And also today they were able to celebrate that news with a win over the Chicago Sky. It's pretty wild game, man. It was a bit of a slugfest. They won 81-79 by the skin of their teeth. The main thing to stick out in this game, man, free throws. Definitely shouldn't have been this close. The Mystics got to the line 31 times, missed 14 of them. So they definitely left the door open for the Sky to come in and steal one. But they were able to close it out. They had a free throw contest down the stretch. Shakira Austin missed 2 big ones, but the Mystics were able to get the offensive rebound, and she was able to finish the play. And then she made the subsequent game-winning free throws as well. So, yeah, man, just shout out to them for being able to stay the course. But, yeah, man, we talk a lot of times about which boxes they check and which ones they don't in wins and losses. Of course, the free throw box was left unchecked tonight, but, they were able to limit their turnovers. They battled on the glass. And yeah, man, they defended pretty solidly for the most part. So, it's just – the closer they can get to a complete game, definitely heightens their chances of winning. Of course, we would like to see them shoot better from the free throw line, but they were able to pick up that slack in other areas. And it was good to see Suge Sutton back. Their last game against Minnesota, they were without her, and we kind of saw we felt that absence. After she had been playing really well in the few games leading up to that game, and just kind of steadying the offense, and giving them a scoring punch as well as a steady hand at that position. So yeah, man, good to see her back in the fold and able to help them get a victory today. Yeah, man, it was a joint effort, man. 4 to 5 starters weren't double figures. Kiki had a double-double. Shakira had a near double-double with 15 and 8. Sonia came up big in the fourth quarter. She scored 8 or 13 in that period, and she added 8 rebounds. We talked a lot during the Minnesota game about everybody hitting the boards, which they didn't in that game, and that led to a nasty loss. So it was good to see them rebound and be able to rectify that. But yeah, man, they'll be back in action at Eagle Bank Arena on Thursday playing the Aces. A good chance to get another win and fight back to 500. They're sitting at 9-10 right now. So yeah, man, just looking forward to what they can do in that game.
For sure, it was great to see them one game away from 500 for the second time this year. Remember last time they got to 500, almost immediately thereafter, they were no longer 500. For everything that Ray said, get over to the channel. Cardo and I piggybacked almost directly off Ray was talking about, summing up today's, matinee game against the Sky. We're going to stick with the W. Ray mentioned it. Appreciate the heads up there. The foreshadowing the WNBA All-Star game. It is here. We had some things happen, like literally before we started the show in terms of, we know who are the starters, we know who are the reserves. Now the captains have picked and all that good stuff. So gonna go through that. Want to get you guys thoughts. Obviously because we have so many new, wonderful WNBA fans these days that are so sane and grounded and have taken this all-star news so very well. None of this has been true. But we'll start with the starters. Let me get that up on screen for you guys. This is the group that was voted the starters. We got Leah Boston, Paige Beckers, Caitlin Clark, Fees, Alicia Gray, Serena Ionescu, Nneka Ogwumike, Satu Sabali, Brianna Stewart, and Asia Wilson. Reserves, get that up on the screen for you guys, and then I'll get to the teams when you guys are sharing your thoughts. Also reserves, Sonia Citron, as Ray mentioned. Skylar Diggins, Ryan Howard, Kiki Ariafin, Kelsey Mitchell, Kelsey Plum, Angel Reese, Alyssa Thomas, Kayla Thornton, Courtney Williams, Gabby Williams, and Jackie Young. As for the teams, this is how it's been split up, you guys. Team Clark, Caitlin, Aaliyah, Sabrina, Asia, Satu, and Kelsey. Also on that team, providing some depth. Gabby Williams, both Mystics rookies, were selected by Caitlin Clark. Jackie Young, Kayla Thornton. For Team Collier, we have Fees, Stewie, Alicia Gray, Nneka Ogwumike, Paige Beckers, Courtney Williams, Skylar Diggins, Angel Reese, AT, Kelsey Plum, and Ryan Howard. Octavia, we'll start with you. Just your thoughts. We can talk about the starters reserves, but we know who the teams are. So your thoughts on the teams, and if you feel someone was snubbed, the floor is yours. So feel free to bring that up. Otherwise, just talk about the teams.
Yeah, Fee's team is, they're just going to annihilate them. If I'm just saying, like, just looking at it, not annihilate, I'm sorry, they're all stars, so let me not use that word. But I definitely like Fee's team. They're stacked. I mean, you got Fee, you got Stewie, you got I think Asia's on the other team, but just all of the names there, it's just crazy. Now, of course, Caitlin, I did watch the drafting. Caitlin seemed more about happy-go-lucky. This is going to be a fun game. So it looks like she pulled a lot of shooters, which understandable. To me, seems like Fee was really going for the gusto. And she didn't disappoint. My number one question when the draft started was why nobody picked Asia first was wild to me. But hey, everybody makes their own decisions. As far as the selections, I don't really have too many gripes about who was selected to the teams. I think the only one for me personally, and again, I might be biased. I like Brittany Sykes over Courtney Williams. Not saying Courtney Williams is having a bad year, but of course the record is going to be a big reason why she would get picked over Sykes, knowing that, the Lynx are, if not the best team in the league, arguably the best team in the league. Even though if you want to say they're having a little bit of a lull or whatever you want to call it. I know Fees was out for some games, but they're right there in the thick of things. And I think we're still all on the same page that it's going to go through them. We know New York is having some issues as far as injuries. Leonie Febish being still playing overseas, and then Jonquil not coming back until probably after All-Star. But outside of that, like, I really don't have any qualms. Like, Alicia Gray has been playing out of her mind this year. The Storm is keeping pace. Nneka and Skylar seems to have kind of some things down. We know Angel's a given, regardless of what Chicago's team looks like. We know Kelsey's a given, regardless of what their team looks like. The Mercury aren't doing too bad as well. So I really don't have any qualms with who they picked. Outside of the starters, like, of course, you could have your qualms about starters because we know that those are all picked based off of votes. Some people would have probably some thoughts about maybe Aaliyah starting, but I mean, she's had a solid year as well. We know Indiana isn't playing while they have, 3 starters on the team this year. But all in all, like, I'm excited that, the W is getting more, press or looks and eyes on them. And that I expect this to be a really, really good game. I think that a lot of people are going to have things to prove to a certain degree, when it comes down to it. Again, we know it's the All-Star game, but I don't think this is the same All-Star game that you're going to be used to seeing in the NBA. So I'm excited to see that. But yeah, just excited. Nothing really too upsetting in regards to this. I think all of the players were deserving.
Malik, it takes on Team Clark and Team Collier as we head into was it next weekend's going to be All-Star Weekend in the W.
Absolutely. Just adding on to what was already previously said by Octavia, Caitlin Clark's team is more so buddy, first time first time picking her team, things like that. Just same way it was when LeBron and Giannis were picking teams, stuff like that. The player selection, per team, just depending on what you're looking for, who's gonna make you look good, what you're looking for to get out of the game, this WNBA weekend. So we're trying to sell tickets and entertain the people. The only person that I really feel bad about is Kayla McBride. This is her this year. She's shooting even better. She was an all-star last year, and her numbers are either identical or even better than the numbers she had last year. Right now, she's shooting 45% from the three-point line and 98% from the free throw line. She's only the second player in history and as well a possible Hall of Famer to average at least 15 points shooting a true shooting percentage over 64% and not make the All-Star game. So the Lynx are playing productive basketball, and I might say I was just really shocked that she didn't get that opportunity. Sykes is another player that's having a great year, averaging 17.9 points per game and 4.6 assists per game. She's just scoring at a high clip, and then she's having a league high free throw, 8.7 free throws per game. So she's also getting to the line. So them two in specific, I was just really, but it's a lot of great players that did make the team. So I get it. I love where the WNBA is going and the expansion of the players, the teams, and just of the awareness of the game. So I know Caitlin Clark missed a lot of games this year. So my opinion on that, you see what I'm saying, varies depending on what people say, because she missed a lot of games and her team is actually really good when she doesn't play as well. So it's not even just her carrying the team to be she saved the program type of thing. They're actually a good basketball team when she doesn't play as well when she does play. So, just like Octavia said, the starters, you can flip them, put them inside out. Some people deserve to start more than others, but she definitely has the media vote. She has the fan vote. I seen when they voted amongst the players, she was about top 8, top 9 or something like that. But she got what she needed to be a starter, and to be a captain. So respects to her. I'm about to say I like Team Collier though. A very seasoned team, a very veteran team. Got some young cats in there. Paige is in there. Got Skylar Diggins, a older OG, Alyssa Thomas, Kelsey Plum. So I'm excited about that team.
Cardell?
Yeah, I like what Fees they big as hell for one. She got a whole lot of MVP candidates on her side as well. So yeah, she definitely wasn't playing around. Deep roster. Caitlin kind of young guns a little bit, went with the young guns a little bit, man. First time, first experience or whatnot, but also shocking that Ryan Ryan was the last pick, but I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna let her deal with it in her way. As far as snubs, yeah, I got a few. Kayla McBride, that was already mentioned, man. Averaging just under 15 points, 3.5 assists, 2.3 rebounds, 1.1 steals on 43, 39, 94 splits. Yeah, 39% from 3, 94% from the free throw line. Plus, she's always been a tough defender, man. And Minnesota 17-2, man. You know what I mean? It's just, come on now. I get the popularity. I get the trying to grow the game, but let it grow organically. Reward those who deserve it. It's a handful of players in here that could have waited their turn, over some of the players I'm about to mention. And I don't want to hear anything about record or whatnot, because it's players in this game, again, who are literally at the bottom of the standings. I'm going to keep going. Jonquel Jones. I understand she played 9 games, but so did Caitlin Clark. 12.1 points, 9.6 rebounds, second in the W, 2.3 assists, 1.1 blocks, 47% from the field, 43% from deep, 65% from the line. Let me just point something out so people understand. When she went down, the Liberty were beating the hell out of everybody. They were 8-1 with her. When she went down, they're 4-5 without her. That tells you about her impact on that team, as talented as they are up and down the roster. She played the same amount of games as Caitlin, as I said. The Fever are 3-2 without Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark's efficiency is down across the board in 2024. Last season, her 41, 34, 90 splits. This season is 39, 29, 81 splits. Again, I get it. It's for the fans, popularity contest, but let's look at the facts and the numbers and actually what's going down on the court. Those are the players that are deserving. Jonquel don't even get caught up in mess, political mess. She just pretty much a professional. She does her job. Even she had to tweet out, like, how am I not an all-star, dog? Like, what we doing here? Because they literally were blitzing through the league before she went down. But I'm pretty sure it's added motivation for her when she returns, and she gonna get to work. Brianna Jones, 14 points, 8.1 rebounds, 6 in the W, 2.4 assists, career high on 51, 21, 75 splits for the four-place dream. Then down in LA. I understand the arrogant Hamby. I get it. Sparks are, the Sparks are struggling 6-13. So are the Dallas Wings. So are the Chicago Sky. 17 points, 7.6 rebounds, 3.8 assists, 1.9 steals on 53, 27, 61 splits. Also, Brittany Sykes deserves some consideration as well for the Mystics, who many thought would be at the bottom of the league, and they're at 500 competing for a playoff spot right now. They're in the mix. I understand she's had a rough go the last few games, but in the totality of the season, they've exceeded expectations, and she's leading the way. So she deserves some consideration. But I'm not really going to scream or holler if people be like, nah, not necessarily her getting there, fine. But she does deserve some consideration, is what I'm saying. But those other three, especially Jonquel and Michaela, like, come on, man. And I know Paige is doing her thing. And for a rookie or whatnot, I understand the fanfare coming from UConn and all that. But the same people that talk to the unfairness that we're going to get into later about Caitlin Clark and how she's treated, I need them to have that same energy and be just as loud about the unfairness about some of these players who are deserving. Like, it's nothing you can point to. They're producing and their team is winning. Have the same energy for these players who are omitted from all-star consideration because of the popularity. People just want to see certain players get in. It's not right. They're going to have to change that, man. This is bad, man. Like, come on. like the Liberty and the Lynx, they should have multiple, even more. Like they've been dominating the WNBA until Jonquel went there. It was like, okay, it's just gonna be them two, and who else is just gonna be in the playoffs? But this is why you play the games. We're gonna see how in the fold. But those are my thoughts on the snubs.
Right.
Yeah, man, I'm pretty much in line with everybody else in regards to how the teams were selected. It looks like Fee is definitely trying to win and win emphatically. That's just looking at the graphic. That's a hell of a team right there, man. But it's all-star game. You never know how these things are gonna go. Caitlin, she even said beforehand that she was gonna pick her teammates. Yeah, man. When I used to play fantasy football, it's always a rule: don't draft with emotion. And I would never pick players that out of the team I'm a fan of. Just typically didn't work out well, but it should be a fun game. See how it goes. In regards to the snubs, man, it's definitely some players that were more than deserving to play in this game. But I mean, the way I look at it, to just kind of alleviate some of the stress for myself, is that it's never going to be enough spots to accommodate everybody that's playing up to that level. But on the same hand, man, like some of the players Cardell mentioned and some of the success they've been having, you want to be rewarded for the hard work that you put in. So yeah, from that perspective, I definitely feel like some other people could have been playing in this game, and some of the, especially the younger players, they'll have a lot of opportunities to be selected. Just like thinking it's not on the same level, but just thinking about when the Olympic teams are selected, some people got to wait, and others that have been there putting in the work, they get that opportunity in a moment. So yeah, man. But some of the conversations around it have just not been rooted in basketball. But yeah, there's a lot of players that deserve some recognition and and should have been selected. But yeah, man, it's All Star is a fun thing. I try not to get too wrapped up in that kind of stuff, but at the same time, yeah, you kind of feel for those players that have been grinding and also leading their team to wins. They want to be recognized in some way, So hopefully this will be rectified in the future. But for now, man, I just try to enjoy the game as is.
But yeah, I don't have too much to add. Just felt like a little bit of step in the wrong direction. You got a team who's looking up at several of these other teams with the most players here. There's something wrong. With the Fever were leading the league, I get having 3 players in there. Why not? But they're not. So what are we really doing? To the Fever's point, you got, again, you guys know where I stand with UConn and whatnot. There's no reason for Paige to be in this game right now. She's having a good rookie year, man. But there's other rookies in this class that are, and this is not to say this any fault of Paige's, but again, for me, I would give the nod to the rookies who are directly impacting winning. I just don't think it's that hard. Wish it was done a little bit more organically from that standpoint. We've known, people watching league enough. We've seen Atlanta. Everybody knows how tough it is dealing with Atlanta. Bree Jones has been working her tail off every year she's been in the league. She's been getting better and better and better. Every year she's been since Maryland, she's gotten better every year she's played basketball. There's no reason for her left out. You talk about the Lynx. Them only having 2 players is kind of nuts. Them and the Liberty, as Cardell mentioned, we started a year where it was them 2 and then, the rest of the league. And the only reason the Liberty fell off is because the thing that makes them literally unfair got hurt. And we see that in the record. Cardell, would you say they were 4 and 5 without Jonquel? So again, the thing that makes them literally freaking unfair is hurt. And you still have Sabrina. You still have Stewie. They have a good roster. However, they're under 500 without Jonquel. And I don't really want to hear the games played thing because one of the captains hasn't played this year, and when they've played, hasn't played well at all. And again, I'm just going by the standard of your rookie year, and I get sophomore slumps or whatever, but been horrible this year. Just being honest, horrible this year. And again, I just think if people are contributing or producing with a level of consistency and it's impacting their teams leading to wins, then I think that's who needs to be here. I credit Angel for the job she's done this year. Started slow and she's been on a tear. Cardell, we were talking about earlier. Big game today against Washington. That's it. The team's not 500 right now. There's other teams closer to 500. There's teams over 500. Kelly McBride has been, I don't know what she has to do to get her just due. It's been like that since she's hit the league. I don't know what it is. All she does is show up, lock people up, hit shots, and contribute to winning. I really don't get it. Every box you want for, is this a winning player? She checks. Y'all said she's shooting 90-something from the line, flirting with 40 from 3. What else do you want? And again, Minnesota's one of the best defenses. You saw them play what was that, last week when they came off the Commissioner's Cup loss and had Washington in the chokehold that game. Yeah, man. AT, I'm happy Alyssa Thomas got her just due. She's been kind of similar to Kelly McBride in that thing where everyone kind of is aware of how good she is, but can we have some of the loud accolades follow it, like publicly acknowledge it? But yeah, it's just tough. And Ryan Howard being picked last is crazy. And bless who is ever heart that has to deal with that. We'll see how that goes.
And one last thing, we can't say that it's for the fans and try to downplay the importance of this game, because when contract negotiations come around, or being an all-star matters, it determines how much money you get. So it's serious business, and people need to take it more serious. I get you want the fans to enjoy and all that, but they can enjoy it regardless. There's too much talent on the floor. But reward those who deserve it. That's my only point.
All right, Cardo would take it or leave it. Rapid fire, where you want to start?
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a spirited one. We'll start on the NBA side of things. Mr. Draymond Green shared a lot of thoughts on this new CBA. Kind of went in. The CBA, which took effect on July 1st, 2023, and runs through the 29-30 season. Let me repeat that. Took effect July 1st, 2023, and runs through the 29-30 season. So we got a few more seasons to deal with this. Includes a punitive second apron above the salary cap that effectively becomes a hard cap for teams that exceed it. Whereas franchise previously faced additional charges for becoming taxpayers, the second apron prevents teams from utilizing the mid-level exception and places significant limits on trades. A team loses most of its flexibility during years in which it surpasses the second apron, limiting how much teams are willing to shell out in free agency. Posting threads in the form of a diary entry, Green shared his thoughts about how the second apron has impacted league spending. He didn't really hold back. Quote, "One can only point to the new CBA and the second apron hard for absolutely putting an end to free agency as we once knew it." Green said was before cautioning young players about the decisions they make in this new landscape. Sadly, I sit here and watch so many players overplay the market and not understand what they are up against with the new rules, which leads me to trying to understand the unstaggering percentage of guys that has no idea of the business they are a part of. And I, as a vet in this league, watch players mismanage their careers, and before they know it, look back and damn, where to next? Green went so far as to argue that he should have been the president of the Players Association, a job currently held by new Washington Wizards guard C.J. McCollum. McCollum, who was dealt by the New Orleans Pelicans in June, have taken plenty of heat around the new CBA and even joked about it directly after the trade. It is no surprise that the outspoken Green took a subtle swipe at McCollum's direction, as even Golden State general manager Mike Dunleavy felt the second apron targeted the Warriors dynasty after it passed. The new CBA rules will make it even more difficult for a front office to keep a team like that together, even with ownership willing to foot a hefty luxury tax bill. Octavia, we're going to start with you. We've talked plenty about this CBA and the tax apron and how if you are over that second apron, it's going to cripple your franchise. But what are your thoughts on Draymond Green's thoughts on it? And again, are you in favor of it?
First of all, I'm leaving Draymond ever thinking he could be the president of anything. So let's start there. Like, no. There's no way I could see him as president of anything, but I digress. All I can really say is that, like, it's not like any of this stuff was hidden from them over the past couple of years. You guys knew this was coming. A lot of it is a direct result of how the player empowerment, or as Cardell Lovely says it, the player entitlement wave has happened as well. So, I mean, whether it's right or whether it's wrong, I really don't have I'll be honest, I really don't have a care either way, because you guys are getting paid millions and millions of dollars to play basketball. So I really don't have no skin in this game when it comes down to it. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Now, I understand if you feel like the current NBA president could have negotiated a more player-friendly deal or franchise-friendly deal, or however you want to say it. I understand that, but I feel like I hate to say it, but I feel like it coming from Draymond gives it less weight, because I really can't take a lot of things that he says seriously, unfortunately. But I mean, honestly, I really don't have a care either way. The only thing I really say is, like, I'm leaving him thinking he could be the president of anything. But it goes back to kind of what you guys have talked about over the past however long it's been since we known that this was coming down the pipeline. You got to man up and get it done. Like, that's really all it is. And I understand, maybe it was geared towards the whole, if you want to call it dynasty, a lot of people will call it dynasty, that happened in Golden State. To me, it just makes a lot of these, not just players, but front office personnel as well, actually do their jobs. You got to actually go out there and find the best fit for your teams. You can't just completely depend on trading for a big star because it's in a good market, or I know this person and me and this person are cool. I know eventually we talked about OKC might have to deal with it, but even if you look at what they did, they built a lot of their pieces up through their own drafting. Yes, they had parts and pieces that they did have to trade for, that they built upon. But, those teams that, for the lack of a better term, I hate to say the right way, but how we view is the right way, they're really not going to have too much of a hardship in that sense. But it comes down to it is what it is. Those are the rules. And I mean, getting on Twitter or X or Threads or whatever you want to call it now and writing an ECR is not going to change it.
Malik. You on mute. Y'all, I can't hear him. Can y'all hear him?
Nah.
You still on mute.
Nah, we still can't. You try to go out and come back in. We'll see if that works.
It's on you, right?
Yeah, I'm not paying attention to nothing Draymond talking about. He typed a whole lot of nothing. Like, he didn't even give a clear thought during that whole little rant. But dude, thank you and your buddies for how we ended up here. I mean, they gave the players an inch and they took 10 miles, and now the course is reversing. Deal with it. You're not going to be around too much longer anyway. And talking about maybe I should have been president of the players union. Well, maybe you should have. I'm not sure that anybody would have endorsed that, but it is what it is. But yeah, man, I'm glad we're here. To be perfectly honest, teams just doing whatever. We seeing guys not value draft picks, just throwing them away. Scouting departments got to do their job again. Salary cap departments got to do their job again. And people got to build teams. All that teaming up and super team stuff is not guaranteed anyway, as we've seen multiple iterations of those type of teams fail tremendously. So, I mean, yeah, like it's just got to a point where this had to happen, and the players can really only blame themselves. So, I don't have any sympathy at all. Deal with it or retire. I really don't care.
Malik.
That was interesting. Interesting point of view there. I would leave it that it's a problem, as long as, in my opinion, as long as the chips are fair across the boards of the restrictions, the rules, and the regulations, then everyone is fair. I'm about to say, yes, people are going to have opinions. Everyone's never going to be satisfied at the decision of two parties, because one party is going to feel like they have more, or one party is going to feel like they don't have enough, which is the players at this point. But it keeps the league fair. Just like everyone mentioned before, dynasties aren't able to take over the league in groups of 5 to 7 years, 8 to 10 years, because the apron will not allow that. Brad Stevens said in his interview directly that these trades with Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis happened solely because of the second tax apron in his interview on Tuesday. So just that specific case alone, and with all the other trades that are going to start happening, the other people that are going to start having to get cut, it's a fair league, and you can acquire whatever play you want to acquire, just like Wilson said earlier, with the teaming up with your buddy, or what Ray said, just going with the guys that you know. But after 2 or 3 years, they're gonna have to pay some of the guys, and some of the guys won't be able to get paid. So whoever matters the most will stay there, and y'all all get paid millions of dollars anyway. So you'll be okay. But yeah, I'm leaving it. Would Draymond Green be a decent president of the players? He would definitely be a voice of the players, and people might not like him, but what he's saying, if you removed in like in reference to Octavia, if you remove the name that's saying it, then he might have he has some points. So I could take that he wants to be the president.
Wilson.
Even if for sure, I don't care what he's talking about, man. You were literally part of one of these dynasties. You were literally part of the team that this was kind of built for. You played a role in destroying those teams, the current one and the one to follow. Where was all this angst and noise then? Like, it's a players' association. Y'all can get involved. Y'all can talk amongst yourselves and get this sorted out. But everybody was having fun. Everybody was cool with guys who are now getting the mid-level exception. And again, not knocking anyone against their money, but there was a point in time for a few years here when people were getting severely overpaid for where they ranked in the league in terms of like maybe a tier of players. And, everything was fun when the players felt like they were running everything, and things happen in cycles, man. Like, there was going to be pushback like this. There was always going to be pushback. And the owners didn't even have to do much. They sat back and watched y'all do it. They had to do much. So, I get in with the swipe at CJ McCollum or whatever, but hey, man, like, y'all have an association. It's on y'all to make sure all the information's out here. But what it seemed like this time, again, just, I'm on outside looking in. One of the things I was looking up was like one of the new things in this CBA, that player investment thing. I feel like that was something a group of players was interested in and kind of ushered into this part and didn't think about the bigger picture. So, yeah, now they're allowed to, what is it they're allowed to do? They're allowed to invest in both NBA and WNBA teams. They're also allowed, as long as there's a board, to invest in sports betting. So if you were, during this empowerment thing, if you're thinking about your pockets, how some people were moving, and we can see how some people were moving, and it felt like it was being pushed by that group of people because it didn't, things directly impacted them the most, and now we're here. But everybody's not that group of people. This is what it looks like when we're on the other side of it. They push back, but those people, they're good. They like, right, their checks aren't changing to a degree, and some of them they're on the back end, so they made they're good. They're essentially about to like cash out their pension if it was corporate world or whatever. But everybody else, I guess free agency's nasty out here. Why would anybody pay big money? You just had like a 5 to 7, like maybe 5-7 year stretch where people that were producing, like people are getting paid 2 to 3 times more than what they were producing. So now it's back the other way. Like that mid-level, you remember everybody was making mid-level money that at times didn't quite have mid-level production. Hey man, we're here. Now there's really no middle class. You got the dudes on your rookies, the rookie deals. You got the dudes in the upper echelon. And you got your dudes after the rookie deals who weren't good enough to get paid. Who weren't the guys coming off your rookie? If you're a rookie coming off your rookie deal, you weren't the guy. It's nasty out here. I hope you saved your money during your rookie contract. And you need to figure it out because it's not what it used to be. Because people are just cashing in off of maybe it'll work in the next 2 years or whatever. They're paying people wildly off projections, and it caught up. And I mean, what do you want owners to like? Not to speak up for owners, but what do you think is going to happen in business when people are overpaying for something and the production doesn't match? Like we're here.
Yeah, I agree with what all y'all said. The only negative with it moving forward that I see coming is if a team does do the job like OKC. They're gonna lose players because players are gonna just develop and get to a level where they just can't afford them, because that means they will be in a luxury tax. So that's the only negative where teams that deserve to try to keep their teams intact, they won't be able to because it's just going to be too much of a – it's going to cripple their franchise and their roster, man. It's just going to be too tough. And that's why you saw OKC jump ahead of it and been building all these draft picks. As soon as that thing came down the pipeline, they was on it. So, like Shea, he got his money, but Chet's coming up. Like it's plenty of Jalen Williams coming up. Like they're gonna have to make some tough decisions soon. But with that being said, I agree with all y'all, man. Like the players brought this on themselves, man. And it's not even just by the action; it's the low management, it's the lack of production for what they were getting paid and stuff. It's how they were openly voicing it. Like they were on podcasts just talking crazy. And you didn't hear one owner speak. They ain't say nothing. They just said people acting like, I know the owner's busy. They got other businesses, main businesses. They on a golf course. They traveling and stuff. But word is getting back. They know what's being said. And it's like they were talking grease. Just go back and watch podcasts, man. Like it's not. It's this didn't come out the blue. And you know what they did? They just got quiet. They running into the other owners and, golf resorts and stuff, talking and stuff like that. You heard what he said? All right, CBA coming up, we'll see. And here we are. And they still ain't saying nothing. They just being quiet. And to your point, Wilson, what y'all been saying, for the rookies that's up, 2 words, Jonathan Kuminga. Restricted dog. He ain't going to get dog. Like, he's stuck. And he's on a restricted thing. So he wants to leave because him and Kerr don't get along because he feel like Kerr doesn't play him and stuff like that. And Kerr like, man, you ain't ready. You're not about winning. We're in win now mode. We're trying to win. We're trying to maximize this window before it closes, right? With that being said, he wants to leave, but he can't leave because they don't have the money to try to go get him. Or even if they did, Golden State can match that. So this is what you're seeing. Or it's the flip side. Paulo, he just signed his deal, got the option year and everything. But if he becomes all-NBA player, MVP, defensive player of the year, if he hit one of those milestones, it jumps up from 5-year 239 to 5-year 287. And now Orlando in a serious situation. They got to make some tough decisions. That's what the negative part is. It's going to be hard. But it goes back to what I think Octavian Rich, people going to have to do their jobs. You're going to have to be very creative with how you build contracts out, where players can still get what they deserve, but they can be cap friendly. You're going to have to develop players so guys are ready, because if you lose too many top tier players right away, your team will go down. You might be out of a job. And then you're going to have to scout. You really going to have to work. You're going to have to identify talent early. You have to watch them. And you're going to have to have them on your board ready to go, man. So, to me, the positives outweigh that negative. But again, you brought this on yourself. We kept saying it. It wasn't even just us, like media and OGs in the league was saying that. I remember specifically Isaiah Thomas came out like, y'all better get it together before it's too late. Because y'all got to think about the kids that come into the league down the line. Y'all got it good because of what came before y'all. And y'all sitting out. Y'all not playing. Y'all openly talking about it, laughing about it, and stuff like that. Y'all are going to piss these people off, and it's going to be bad. Now you're going to have dudes playing on, like, making $6 million for a 3-year. Like, it's going to be crazy, man. And they got to take it, because what's the alternative? Not work? Or go overseas and whatever? Like, come on, man. And we're here. And you got to deal with it until the 2030 season. And I don't see coming out this with the economy we're in for the next 4 years. I don't see the owners trying to let up. Like, nah, we need to keep it. I like it like this. Earn your money. So it's going to be crazy, man, moving forward. But it is on them. On the NFL side of things, Kirk Cousins offered up his most expansive comments yet on the awkward situation he finds himself in with the Atlanta Falcons, after the franchise made a surprising move to draft Michael Penix Jr. Cousins, one of the signal callers featured on Netflix quarterback debut today, admits that he felt a little bit missing and that he may have re-signed with the Minnesota Vikings had he known the way things were going to play out. Cousins was aware the Falcons might draft a quarterback, but definitely not that high. he wasn't informed about the Penix pick until a phone call by offensive coordinator Zach Robinson while Atlanta was on the clock. Quote, certainly if I had the information around free agency, it certainly would have affected my decision. Cousins said, I had no reason to leave Minnesota with how much we loved it there if both teams are going to be drafting a quarterback high. But I've also learned in 12 years in this league that you're not entitled to anything. It's all about being able to earn your spot and prove yourself. Cousins' ability to prove himself was hampered by a shoulder injury. He suffered in week 10. His production plummeted, and eventually Penix assumed the starting role to close the season. To this point, Cousins is still on the Falcons roster, presumably as a backup for Penix in 2025. Malik, your thoughts?
I'm happy that Kirk Cousins was being honest, but him saying that he wouldn't have left Minnesota, his original claim is that he wouldn't have went there if he knew they were going to take Penix. And the only reason that he is saying that because Penix is the starter. Now, he got out of Minnesota because they brought in J.J. McCarthy. And at that point, they didn't project you to be the starter that long, or him saying he could have stayed in Minnesota, got paid, and played is not the reality situation, because Minnesota was either about to be done with you or they were, J.J. McCarthy's the next guy up. Now, in Atlanta, they gave him the opportunity to show that he's a starter, that he's the guy. They paid him money. They brought him in. It's your show. As long as you stay hot, you get to keep the show. He went down, and it just wasn't enough for them to be pleased to keep them in that head position. So Michael Penix now is in the head for the QB1 spot. This is more so not on Kirk Cousins. I think he needs to be a little bit more humble about the situation that he's in. He got paid. He stole money, quote unquote, and he's gonna be able to provide for his family. But skill for skill wise, but whether he would have been in Minnesota or if he would have been in Atlanta, it was definitely coming to an end very fast.
Ray, thoughts on your Cousins?
Yeah, that thief has some nerve, man. Bro, he been swindling for years. It's over, man. It's like when you get wrapped up in a Ponzi scheme. You've been caking, getting over on folks, and now it's a wrap. Just go ahead and ride off into the sunset, my brother. It's okay, man. Like Malik said, I don't think you had many options. Like, Minnesota was about to escort you out. You came down here, you had a chance, you didn't capitalize, and now somebody else is a starter. Just keep cashing your check and be quiet. You know, if there was a situation where teams could get it back in blood for what you've taken from them, I'm sure they would, but that's not happening. Just be happy with what you've been able to do with your career so far.
Wilson.
Hey, man, at some point, the grips was going to run dry. Dog. As Malik said, both of the teams, bro, like the coach in Minnesota, the coach in Atlanta, are part of the same coaching tree that, you started under. Sir, if one of them was going to replace you with a younger one, you don't think the other one was going to too? We can flash back to last year when I think we talked about after the draft. And I was like, I understood why Atlanta did it. It seemed weird, but in that system and Kirk Cousins and all the snaps he's played and everything else, they know you, man. They know you. Like, you've played for damn near the same coaching tree your entire career. So if Minnesota's ready to move on, yeah, that's why Atlanta gave you all the money, because they don't have to pay the rookie. Like, I mean, they have to pay him, but it's on a rookie deal. And they took Penix in the first round, right? So what does everyone talk about, right? If you can take a quarterback in the first round, what's the thing? You could, to a degree, blow money because you don't have to account for the quarterback for 5 years. Sir, they gave you 100 guaranteed, 50 million signing bonus coming off an Achilles. What made you think they were thinking about you long term? Seriously, like, how could you even? And then they took the quarterback. Why would your last team took a quarterback? You thought the new team would be like, here, Kirk, we believe in you coming off the Achilles? Again, same coaching tree. You don't think they talk? And Youngster, you have a good arm. You have a plus arm. Youngster has a howitzer on his shoulders. And again, usually what that tree likes to do, let the youngster, sit still for a year, get acclimated to the system, and then after that, it's usually go time. That's how it usually works. What are you shocked by, sir? Literally, this is how you got your job. What are you doing here? Like, that's crazy for you to even say anything. Shut up, take your money. You and your agent, one of the greatest NFL agents ever. Hall of Fame. I don't know his name. I need to find out. But hold on, what is this? You made baseball money during your career. He secured over $331 million. Kirk Cousins has. Sir, the end of the grift, bro. It's cool. Y'all did good. It's okay. And you still got paid. They had to pay you for 2025 and 2026. But the caveat to that was, I'm gonna give you your money. So when we move on, you can't say nothing. Go count your money, buddy. There's nothing to talk about. Go count your money. And look what the Vikings got going on. They took what it was it JJ and Penix got taken in the same draft, I think, right? So JJ got injured. Are they playing around with somebody in front of JJ right now? They told Sam Darnold, thank you for everything, but we drafted a quarterback in the first round. Bye. What you think Atlanta? Atlanta took that big strong arm kid. It was like, bro, you knew you had a year, maybe two. It was on you to hold him off. And then you admitted, I think, along with this was he wasn't healthy and all this other stuff. You knew you weren't. Once you went out, you knew you weren't coming back in because you did this. You were Penix at the time. Dude in front of you got hurt. You got the job. You never gave it up. What are we doing? But that's funny, though.
Octavian.
Okay, don't want to come off mute. Okay, sorry, for whatever reason, didn't want to come off mute. It was all good when they was swag surfing in Atlanta. That's all I gotta say. He was having a grand old time down there. Everything was great. They was having a good time. I think you guys all pretty much summed it up well. He's lucky to be where he is. I actually had to look it up to remind myself. I knew what the stat was, but I needed to know. Wilson just laid out that he's made $331 million over the course of his career, and he has won one playoff game.
Wow.
One.
Wow.
And to be fair, we rag on Dak Prescott about it all the time. He at least won two. Like, let's keep it a buck, right? So it's a wrap, bro. Like, I understand. And I mean, and let's also keep this in mind as well. His agent, whoever his publicist is, they work in overtime because number one, this is season 2 of quarterback for him. So he's getting paid again. Okay. And then, like you said, he's still getting paid from Atlanta. And the notion of how I would have stayed in Minnesota, everything was great. You also stated that your wife's family is from Georgia as well. So it's not like it was that big of a change as well. You got closer to family, with his kids growing up, because I watched quarterback last year and I know how all of that stuff goes. Like you said, take the money, ride off into the sunset. Hopefully you get an opportunity, maybe like Sam Darnold down the stretch, maybe like Joe Flacco down the stretch. Like you said, coming off an Achilles tear at 35 at the time, he's 36 now. Relax. Just it is what it is. Like you all mentioned as well, he wasn't going to be the long-term situation in Minnesota. Luckily, he got to somewhere it's not as cold, close to family. You got paid. And now you kind of have to do what eventually quarterbacks are supposed to do. The older and older they get, if they're able to stick in the league, you're eventually going to be a backup and you're going to have to mentor somebody. Here's your time to shine, bro. So here's the next phase of your career. Keep your fingers and toes crossed that maybe you get another opportunity somewhere. But Father Time is undefeated. That Achilles, and I mean, it was god awful after a while. I think he played well maybe the first 2 games or 3 games of the season last year. I don't watch many Falcons games. Maybe this year I will with Penix to see how he does. But it was inevitable. But shout out to him for stating the obvious. You know, I would have. I'm not surprised that they didn't tell him apparently until they were on the clock. Not surprised the NFL, they do this stuff all the time. Take it on the chin, bro. Let me borrow $1 or something.
Yeah, everything y'all said, I'm just gonna keep it brief. Why can't people just keep it real? It's a business for one, but why can't the people just be honest with themselves? People putting themselves in the line of fire to be criticized heavily. Even with everything y'all said last year, 18 touchdowns, 16 interceptions, 88.6 quarterback rating. Who in their right mind will make you the starter the next season with those numbers? Coming off the injury. Come on, man. Just be real with yourself, man. Like I get what you're trying to do, but this is the part about pro sports I hate. And it's not just from players, it's even from teams. They insult the public's intelligence with some of the stuff they say, man. It's like, dog, just stop. This is not the 60s where people believe everything because they don't have the information. This is the information age. We already know what's going on. It is what it is. They got to see what's with this kid. They wasted I ain't gonna say wasted. They selected him with the first round for a reason. Just take the L, man. Like y'all said, you did good, man. You manage your money, you set for life. Matter of fact, your kids is set. You good, man. You know what I'm saying? And this quarterbacks that were far more productive, not even close to that. So, nah, man, it's no sympathy, man. It is what it is. Look, if you want to beat them out, beat them out. If you want to get back on the field, beat them out, if that's even possible. So, we're going to see how to go. One last question, man. We're going to go on the WNBA side. You got to tackle this. Christine Brennan, longtime USA Today sports columnist, has a book coming out this week about Caitlin Clark. While promoting it over the weekend, she took some pointed shots at WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert and how the league has handled Clark in her first 2 seasons with the Fever. Brennan, who on Sunday shared an excerpt from her book about a controversial moment she was involved in during the WNBA playoffs last year, said she has been surprised by how Engelbert and the league haven't done enough to stand up for Clark, especially after the guard has taken some ugly hits from opponents early in her career. She added this to say during an appearance on WHO 13 News in Iowa on Sunday. Quote, the way Engelbert has trouble talking about Caitlin Clark, or if she's asked about Caitlin, she'll say Caitlin and Angel. But she wasn't asked about Angel. You know, she was asked about Caitlin. This incredible inability to deal with the facts and state the obvious is astounding to me. Cathy Engelbert doesn't come out after the Marina Mabry hit and say that's unacceptable. The refs got it wrong. You should have been kicked out then. You weren't. But now I'm going to kick you out, and now you're suspended for another game or 2. That's just unacceptable behavior for someone who's that important to the league or to any player, right? The league can't do that. They seem paralyzed, but it does make you wonder, me as a human being, what's going on? Why is it still so bad and so opposite of what any capitalist company is? Capitalism 101. You got someone here. Run with it. Oh, man. Yeah. Wilson. Go ahead and get started with this one.
Man, it's the year of the grift, man. We just talking about Kirk Cousins, his agent. You know, grift ends. I guess the positive thing I have to say is credit to her for capitalizing on an opportunity. She saw a niche market and decided that she was going to corner it. The stuff she's been doing is disgusting, man. Like, it's unnecessary too. Caitlin's been amazing, all right, and that's great. But also, Pepperidge Farms remembers her freshman year in college. Where the hell were y'all at? Because I remember telling Cardell early, I was like, hey, because I saw her early in Big Ten, and I was like, hey, I don't know. This is different. You know, I couldn't even, I was like barking on the phone to Cardell about that. Her freshman year, it was quiet as hell because Paige was healthy. Again, Pepperidge Farms remembers this. This is not on Caitlin. I need everybody to remember how this happened because we have this crazy revisionist history as if there was some organic underdog crusade. Bro, she was one of the top players in the country coming out. One. 2, she's not an underdog by any means. 3, almost every Power 5 school, like at the top of women's basketball, was very aware of who she was, because you have Iowa fans like, oh, she's, just some good hometown kid and nobody really wanted her. Nah, dog. Then in the same breath, you got them. Well, what does Gino really know? Because he took Paige instead of Caitlin. Y'all gotta pick your arguments. Like, none of this stuff makes sense. Then the WNBA should be lucky that they have her. I enjoy Caitlin's game. I appreciate Caitlin's talent. Also old enough to have seen people that were like literally, like we covered the league. We watched the freaking Lynx several times a year. We got to see some crazy stuff. We got to see Candace before she became veteran Candace. Like, y'all just weren't out there going crazy about it. So, like, that's the conversation I wish people would have, and it's just absurd. And I just wish she would stop pushing this divisive nonsense, because Kate, all right, there's a lot of positive that goes with Caitlin's game, and I'm happy that she's brought, extra eyes to it. Again, whatever brings somebody to something, credit to them. But there's something else that came with it, and this lady right here is one of the people who's she's making a killing off of it. She knows exactly what it is. She knows it's wrong. However, people are eating it up. Like that group of people, and that's a larger discussion for another day, but that group of people, she's clearly speaking their language, and they're out here like every 10 seconds. That's I think, what's it called? Last year's first year covering the W, where everyone's a thug, everyone's this, everyone's out to do this. Like, right, it's been a physical league since inception. Since its inception, it's been a physical league. Unlike the NBA, where it's kind of tailored off and freedom of movement. Nah, man, you go across the paint in the W, someone's gonna touch you. Like, I don't know what to tell you. It hasn't changed. It hasn't gotten to that place. Also, just to be honest, if you watch Caitlin long enough, a lot of the cliche thing in sports, like, oh, it was catch the person that reacts or retaliates, never the person who starts it. Caitlin is a grade A agitator. Like, again, just being 100% objective, since people don't like to do it. She is a grade A agitator. She does a lot of stuff to get people to react. And again, like, it's sports, you do what you got to do. But to ignore that for the sake of a narrative is crazy. Because when other people do it, we somehow have the innate ability to understand exactly what they're doing it, exactly what they're doing, why they're doing it. And depending on who it is, like, people either like it or don't like it. But with this, it's just victim. And that's what's absurd. It's just stupid. And then, what's it called? You were talking about the All-Star thing earlier, right? With, how it came in droves last year for Caitlin and the support. And then now they can't stand the people that are supporting Paige and some of the other rookies. Yeah, you gotta pick somewhere to stand. And the place where it seems like there's some of these people are standing is just a horrible place. Like, enjoy women's basketball for what it is. Happy to have new people have eyes on it. That's great. That is a positive of it. But the revisionist history is crazy, man. Like, they're really acting like Iowa was like they were still a Big Ten school. Like, acting like they were mid-major, and she did what Swoops did with her college team.
Well, did.
You know what I'm saying? What John Quell did with her college team. She did it. Like, that was a bigger program. It's freaking Iowa. Like, what? Like, I just wish people would remain in this reality, because they're like rewriting origin stories that never happened. Like, just never happened. She wasn't a 3-star recruit ever. Y'all, please stop. She didn't only play with 2-star recruits. We just got to stop. Everyone in the league doesn't hate her. Every rookie that's played in the W, you got the ball a lot, you're going to get touched up. If you have a shaky handle, you're going to get touched up even more. Again, there's a lot of things we could talk about, but they want to talk about everything but that. And I wish to just get back to the basketball, but again, how can it when we just watch someone get, the leading all-star vote getter while shooting like -2%, and no one's saying anything negative? But I've seen people on Twitter like to bring up, why didn't Brittany Sykes make it? Well, you know exactly what field goal percentage is when you want to discredit Brittany Sykes. But if it's for whoever your deity is, it doesn't matter. Like, stay in touch with this reality, man. I can't take the revisionist history.
I'll tell you.
Yeah, I'm so tired of hearing this. They've been beating this drum since forever. I feel like I remember when she was getting ready to come to the league. I just knew that this was going to be long drawn out, and they're proving me right at this point. It's just ridiculous. Like it makes me wonder, has she ever watched the W ever before Caitlin set foot at Iowa? Like, let's not even say before she set foot in the WNBA. Did you ever watch the WNBA before Caitlin set foot at Iowa? Because nothing has changed in that aspect outside the fact that Caitlin Clark is, let's call it what it is, the Great White Hope, and she's bringing all these additional eyes to the team because let's just keep it a buck. There are very talented Caucasian women that's played in the W. But let's keep it a buck. Majority of the people that are going to be notarized are African American. And I'm tired of this whole dynamic. I've personally dealt with it my entire career. When I played basketball, it was always a thing about playing against certain teams, certain places, and that aspect. And this is continuously furthering that false narrative that does not need to be put out there. Because Caitlin Clark is a great player, we take nothing of that away from her. Because she is a great player does not give her the right to not get treated like any other player that's in the league. It's just point blank, period. Like, I understand that you want to, I feel like they push this narrative more because, yes, the WNBA did not have the eyes and the funding and all this other stuff in the past couple of whatever. And now because Caitlin Clark has walked on the scene, everybody's looking at her as a cash cow. And we have to do everything that we can possibly do to placate to her, make sure that she's happy and make sure that she doesn't get hurt. Everybody that steps out there puts their shoes on the same way, puts their hair in a ponytail the same damn way, and they're going to play against you. Like, I don't care what your name is. Like, half of the time, they don't care who you are. Like, you have teammates who played in college against each other who are getting ready to push and shove each other. It happens all the time. So to continuously push this narrative is weak. But like you said, she saw an opportunity to capitalize on something, and I guess that's why she mentioned in her quote that capitalism 101. So we see that that. So I mean, congratulations in that aspect, but it'll never be true. She can say it as many times as she wants. It'll never be true.
Malik.
It's nothing y'all said at all. But if you honestly, and it goes to the simple concept too, if you know, if you are available to know the history of the WNBA, the players who came before, the Skylar Diggins, the Candace Parker stories, the Kyle stories, like you all said earlier, then you understand that this is blasphemy and this is just a narrative. The people who are newer to the knowledge, for some reason, Caitlin Clark is the player that they have geared towards, created in their head the spark of the WNBA, the reason why people sell tickets, and the reason why the WNBA in their head was played in back of churches and outside on blacktops before Caitlin Clark got in the league. So it's really crazy to discredit all these legends and the way it's been built up to even just from the women playing basketball to just different series, TV series, like when they started Martin, the Team USA players, to different just being likable, being important in and out of life just while playing basketball. So this lady right here, she's definitely taking advantage of the opportunity. Someone's going to take advantage of the opportunity, but I'm leaving it where it's at immediately.
Ray, you got a lot to say.
I'm gonna try to keep it quick, man. But yeah, Christine Brennan's been on a nasty crusade since last year. It's embarrassing, honestly. And the fact that people like this are still allowed access and credentials to the WNBA was such a large platform. It's honestly damaging. Everything I feared that would happen with Caitlin Clark coming into the league has pretty much happened. And again, it's not her fault. But like everything from like the WNBA discourse has gone to hell since Caitlin's come in. Like And then, like Wilson pointed out, it's great that she brought a lot of new fans and new eyes to the game, but all the other stuff that came with it is it's almost not worth it, to be perfectly honest, man. Like the stuff that's polluted the WNBA is, yeah, man. Like it's just stuff that I don't want to see kind of infiltrate this space. Even from a media perspective, like making all this about hard fouls and Caitlin being targeted. Like, no, she's treated just the same way as every other player was treated when they came into the league, especially when you come in with that much hype. They're going to test you. And if you rise to the occasion, cool. And if you don't, well, get in the gym and get better. Caitlin is not she's not a unique case, man. Everybody went through it. When Diana Taurasi said there's going to be an adjustment period of playing with grown women, people tried to nail her to the cross. Lo and behold, when Caitlin came into the league as a rookie, there was an adjustment period of playing with grown women. Like I just don't understand how we even got here. But again, it's just because most of the new drove of fans are not basketball fans. They're here to support Caitlin Clark and push certain agendas for whatever reason. I'm not gonna get into that right now, but yeah, man, something's got to give. Like we gotta course correct here because it's just getting out of hand, and people like her that's just pushing the narrative to this degree. I really wish somebody would check this like on a heightened level. Because she just can't be allowed to run amok like this and continue to perpetuate this nonsense.
These are times I kind of appreciate the late great David Stern, because when certain media people got out of line back in the day, he got personal with it. He checked them real quick. Kathy Engelbert need to go that direction with this lady. She's going too far with it. She's messing up a beautiful game, a league that's trying to grow, and she just fanning the flames of, let's call it what it is, this racist basis from a racist ass faction of the country that's getting behind what they view as their great white hope, to no fault of Caitlin Clark. That's all it is, and Caitlin Clark has even spoken out against it, but they're not listening. They still want to perpetuate this ignorance, and she's leading that just to make a few dollars off a book. That's what makes it so disgusting, man. She's not targeted, because the ladies in the WNBA could have got this over with in the first game. Wait for her to lay her up and body slam her close. It's ways to finish it. Trust me. Anybody that's played basketball long enough knows there's certain ways you could just take a play out. So just stop. Also, Caitlin Clark isn't exactly innocent. She does her little chippy stuff. She does. But the difference is she ain't got her weight up to be carrying it like that. And then they check her, and then she look helpless out there when they get physical with her. And here's the thing no one ever brings up that's funny to me. If you watch FIBA games, you actually watch the games. Just two Caucasian girls on her team, Lexi Ho, Sophia Cunningham. They get fucked up more than her. They be getting, like the last game against the Sparks. And
they had her by her hair and then they choked her.
Plum pushed her on the ground, stepped over and everything. Lexi looked over like, what the? Dog. Don't nobody give a damn about them. They don't say nothing about them. We see it. They be getting, especially Lexi, because they gotta stop the killers on the other team. They gotta get on them. So they be taking the beat, man. Don't nobody give a damn about them. Where's all the outrage for them? So we already know it's BS. We know what's really behind this, man. And it's ignorant, man. It's disrespectful, man. And Engelbert need to check her and just, you know what? You don't even need to come around the league. We good without you. Because she's making it very, very uncomfortable And the ladies in the WNBA are not idiots. They're very smart, intelligent sisters. I'm talking about the black ladies right now. They're fed up with that because they feel like they've been putting in work for years. They appreciate the new spotlight and all that. But don't bring heat my way for just competing hard and not just allowing this girl to just bust my ass and stuff to make you happy. That's not how this works. It's sports. It's competition. If she's that, like how y'all saying she is, she should be able to bust my ass organically. And I got to get back in the lab and get better so I can deal with you. It's as simple as that. But, and it's been like that. Like, think about it. The hype she's getting, you would think she's like Deladon. Deladon was the phenom. You feel what I'm saying? She didn't even have this type of following when she came in. Nothing like this. She did what you say she do? Even though she was a 5-star recruit, what did she do? Elevate Delaware. So
Probably the only player, my bad, I was about to say she's probably the only player that left stores and really like nothing changed, because usually you leave and we don't just, but I'll be quiet.
come on, man. So we respect. People like her just need to stay away. She shouldn't even have a platform anymore because she's just fanning with she just putting a batter in the back of these ignorant people, man, that just keep wanting to stand behind us. And she's not alone. Frank Gasol, I listen to Sirius XM NBA all the time. That dude, oh my God, like Caitlin Clark could do no wrong. And it's like, my man, it's just stop. No one's talking to her. No one in the WNBA playing it should just go along to get along, right? And just be like, you know what, she's here, we can make a lot of money. Let's just allow her to just kill our ass and we could just bring in money. No, it doesn't work like that. These ladies have pride. And unfortunately, when they step in for contract negotiations upstairs with my management, the narrative stuff won't help them. They're going to be judged off their production and if the team is winning. Otherwise, they will be out the league. In case you haven't noticed, the WNBA is very vicious. They get you up out of there. There are a lot of ladies that are at home who are capable of playing in the WNBA. Cheyenne Sellers out of Maryland. Like, come on now. Like, it's what just happened to Van Loo. She flew from the FIBA thing and got cut. After winning the FIBA championship, she just got cut when she landed. She like, damn. Like, y'all couldn't call me at home and stuff. Luckily, she got picked up, but it's cold like that. That's just the game. So we got to become more responsible, man, because this is what she's doing is becoming dangerous, and it's bringing too much of a negative spotlight to these ladies where it's not even about basketball no more, and they're doing it, and what she's doing is sickening because she's really just trying to line her pockets up. It ain't even about Caitlin no more. It's about her. So if anything, Engelberg need to check her and just do away with anything regarding her where she doesn't even have a platform to talk, and just cut that off, man. Because right now it's just sickening, man. Because she's not being targeted. It's just physical. It's just physical basketball. And when she does stuff and they get back at her, that's par for the course. What you do comes back. It is what it is, man. So we gotta get past this point, man. I don't. Honestly, I've kind of ran out of hope of seeing it happen, especially if she continues to get better and they compete for championships, which they do have the team to do and stuff like that, and they make a run and stuff. It's going to get crazy, and it's unfortunate, man. Honestly, I applaud the ladies in the league for not really taking it there, man, like, because they could. You know what I mean? But I think they understand, and they have I think they're starting to come around to understand, like, it ain't her. It's the people that's following her, and it's not, we ain't gonna treat her like that because she is one of us. She's proven herself and stuff. So we gonna cut her some slack unless she just get out of line, then we'll take it there. But it's just ignorance, man, and it's just taken away from the game. It's not even like we deal with this on the NBA side with a lot of BS narratives and stuff where it's just draining to even watch certain games or watch certain players play, man. The WNBA was supposed to be a break from that, and now it's some other stuff with that, where it's that same type of energy that's being sucked away, and it's not cool, man. But it's just BS all around, man. Judge these players off their production and what they're doing on the court, and let that define their greatness instead of you trying to tell us what's great and who's deserving of them being great.
Yeah, if she's gonna end up being one of the greats, it's gonna happen, and no one's gonna be able to question it. So just shut up, let it happen, keep your notes, write the book at the end of the career. You don't need to do this, like, just at all. But again, we appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all next week, same time, same place as always. Thank you for watching Focus TV.